We should be live. Hello, I'm Manly.
Hello, Amanda. I've
I'm
never
s-
ever referred to you with that name before, Amanda.
yeah, my
But it's always
actual
been
name.
good with it. Yeah, Amanda. Nice to eventually acquaint with you. So,
I know. I mean, I know when I first saw you on BRP stream, we had some back and forth, and I really wanted to talk to you about what you knew. Pick your brain on what you knew about epigenetics and feminism and all the things. But you know what? This
and here we
conversation.
are, outdoor tidying.
I know. I mean,
Yeah.
how long ago was that? That was like over 2 years
Mm,
ago, it feels like.
Was it that long? I thought it was only about a year and a half.
I feel like it
Was it
was
that long?
longer. Yeah. No,
Oh,
I mean,
I
I
don't
would
know.
have to double check, but no, this
It's
this
been,
conversation right here when you and TNFS were chatting about the
yeah.
Masons and all the things, I really liked it because I agreed. I kind of did the maths on what kind of felt right. I agreed on about 93% of what you said.
That's very specific.
Yeah,
93.
93. Well, because, okay, when I listen to somebody, I kind of dissect what they say, because some of it's, propaganda, some of it's shit that's been
Yeah.
fed to them, some of it is projection, some of it, I'll be on track and listen and be like, okay, yeah, yeah, yeah. And then the person will be like, but it's that person's fault. And I'll be like, no, almost there. Because a lot of the things you were blaming Masons for, I seriously blame feminists for.
Yeah, and we're going to get onto that later, so no spoilers. So I don't want to spoil it for everyone right now.
Okay. Well, I thought this was a great conversation. And I know a lot of people are talking about the conversation and didn't actually
I
listen
may.
to.
I don't know. I don't
Oh
know.
yeah. Yeah, yeah. It's been going around a little bit. But I think a lot of people don't just sit and listen to other people. They listen to find reasons to be offended, is my guess.
Yeah, selective listening.
Yeah. So you think it's Masons. I think it's feminists. There's
Well,
actually
that's the
somebody,
title anyway.
yeah, there's somebody that came into the chat that said both, which probably is true.
hmm
I don't know. We need to get into it, Amanli, because we've had
Yeah,
some fun discussions the past few days preparing for this.
yeah, about feminism and MGTOW and what else? Osiris and been getting in deep in it, haven't we? So
Yeah. Yeah, you did kind of frustrate me at some point because I asked you what the problem with the story of Osiris and all
yeah,
that was, and I felt like you weren't answering my question.
but I was trying to. I was trying to answer that. It's it's a hijacking of the original
Yeah.
texts.
Well, I sent you that Jordan
Mm.
Peterson clip, and that's kind of what I was talking about as that story goes. And I was trying to ask you what was wrong with that story because I think it's a great story and a good
I
depiction
didn't.
of
I didn't.
what's happening.
I found issues with how Peterson portrayed the story, not the story itself.
Okay.
Yeah, like the eye of providence. So he just completely missed that out. Oh, it's how he reckons the eye on the top of the pyramid is attention, which that is
Yeah.
you could see that's one aspect of it, but it's not. It's the eye of providence. It's the all-seeing eye.
Yeah.
You know, so
Yeah.
he
The Eye
doesn't
of
really go
Horus.
into any of that. The eye of yes, the third eye. Yes.
Okay. So do you want to go into that? Because I'm not sure what you disliked about that story. Because I was relating it to things that are going on currently. Because I related ISIS to the feminists.
Yeah, you could do it, and I could associate Nimrod to the MGTOWs.
Mm, yeah.
Nimrod and Isis.
Yeah.
And we keep speaking this about like we have opposing views and we disagree with each other a lot.
Mm-hmm.
But we sort of you and I agree with your conclusion, that's because it's you're female and I'm male,
I think that's
and so
it.
it's that that it's that kind of clash.
Yeah. I think fundamentally, as a man, you naturally have a propensity to blame men.
Yeah.
When I see all the female nature that goes on, and
Yeah.
then I trace it back, and then I blame the women.
Yeah. So you're like, the females are manipulating men, and I'm saying the men
Yeah.
are letting them being manipulated. And in fact, it's, you know, you can't have one without the other. It's the
Right.
fact you can't. A manipulating woman can't manipulate a strong man.
Right.
But
And I,
but a woman that doesn't manipulate just snips it all in the bud.
yeah,
So it goes both ways, you know. And it takes a weak man to be manipulated.
I don't know if I
So
agree with that. I feel like manipulation is a woman's superpower. Like, okay, if we break down
you
aggression,
referring to modern day though, because I mean I'm talking about like the ideal human. Because in modern days, you know, we're all traumatized up to the eyeballs.
right, right.
So you know, just to. So where was you going then?
Oh, I was trying to break it down into like male and female nature and just aggression, for instance. Like
Mm-hmm.
female aggression is different than male aggression. And that's why I hear a lot of the men calling each other woman, like they're behaving like women. You know, they all say it about each other, right? But that's true, because female aggression is like reputation destruction. It's passive aggressiveness. It's unstable hormones. And I don't see how if a man is trying to be aggressive towards another man online, how he can do that, because he can't hit somebody. So he has to resort to female aggressive tactics.
Very
Right?
interesting. Very interesting, yeah. Because you're right, because the amount of times I've been threatened with violence just because I said I don't like meat. I'm not saying that, but just the fact that I said that, and then I've been threatened with violence.
Right.
And because they can't do that, then you get
Right.
groups and gang people, you know, that they, as you said, yes,
Smear
you know,
campaigns.
yeah, yeah. That's I never
Yes.
really thought of it like that before.
Witch hunts.
Oh, the Salem witch trials. That's it. That's what we was originally going to talk about, wasn't it?
Yeah, yeah. I have 2 clips from somebody we both respect.
Oh yes, perfect bridge.
Do you want me to play one where he's talking
Yes,
about the
please.
witch hunts? Okay,
Yes, please. He
let's
knows.
play that one.
I think we both agree. He knows a bit better than both of us.
Yeah, yeah. No, he's a really good at wordsmithing for sure.
Well,
The
if you look at
confidence.
I think he's in my first ever attack on humanity documentary.
Uh-huh.
Like I used when he was still in the Spartan life coaching.
Oh yeah. Yeah, yeah. No,
Yeah,
Richard
when he only
Grannon,
just
he's
started.
been. Go
Mm.
ahead. Yeah, I've been a fan of him for about, I don't know, 10 years. I think that's when I originally found his channel, because I was dealing with toxic family stuff, and I didn't
Mm.
find much stuff online that was talking about, setting boundaries. And I think the video was, why does my family hate me, or something, where he kind of explained it. And it's funny,
And he
every
comes across
time
all the black sheep and all that stuff.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
It's real. It's real serious stuff, you know.
Yeah, it is. All right, I have to figure out which one's which, because one's about a witch hunt and then the other is about narcissists.
Watch me get triggered for for projection or something.
All right, let's try this one.
Brain's not working tonight. You have a means for knowing whether that is NPD or not. Not straight away. It will take time. It takes observation. That we get out of this thing of saying everybody who I don't like is a narcissist. And the other thing is, please try not to view the breakdown of every relationship through the lens of who's the narcissist. Because if you have, imagine now 1,000 people and they live on an island and there's one village on the island and everybody gets this ideological infection that there are these things around us called narcissists, and our society will be pure and free from evil if only we can find who the narcissists are. Who's the narcissist? Who's the narcissist? Who's the narcissist? There's only 1,000 people. This experiment has been lived. It was called New England in the 1600s, and Arthur Miller wrote a play about it that I have acted in. Yes, I have. I've played Proctor. And you have the Salem witch trials. Okay, they weren't hunting for narcissists, but things went wrong. They were sick. They were, the food wasn't abundant. Survival was very, very hard. And it's part of the human psychology. They started looking for people to blame. They weren't saying who's the narcissist. They were saying who's the witch, who's kissed the devil's teats, with Satan and his minions naked round a fire in the woods doing the black magic. There must be evil somewhere, and it can't be in me because I am so pure and good. They would call the wives Good Wife Proctor, Good Wife Smith, Good Wife Good, and they would reduce Good Wife to Goody, Goody Good, Goody Proctor, Goody Smith. I am good. I'm baptized. I'm Christian. There's no devil in me. There's no evil in me. And there's this desire to say, because I am clean, but now you have 1,000 people. I don't even know if it was 1,000 people in Salem. It was probably like 400 at first. But in our thought experiment, we have 1,000 people who all believe that they're good, and they only have to find who the narcissists are, because there are problems on the island, because life is problematic. It's hard. But if we just find, the literature says it's 5%. So once we've finally rounded up and thrown into the sea our 5%, then the crops will always be good. There'll be no storms. No one will get eaten by sharks when they're fishing. Am I making sense? It's not good. We don't want to create witch hunt style dynamics. It's not healthy. Not that it will lead to like burnings or some public sort of humiliation and social media cancellation, all that stuff, but it just doesn't lead us towards truth. There is evil in the world because the world doesn't do what we want it to do all the time. You know, your kids might get eaten by wolves or fall down a ravine one day, or you might get a sore tooth and die from, that's evil. But there's also evil in us, in each and every one of us. There is the capacity for harm. There is the capacity for darkness. And what I dislike is the dishonesty and the hypocrisy of saying, I'm pure, so the evil is out there. I admit to nothing, but it's all out there. That's scapegoating. That's the ancient Jewish tradition of taking the sins of a small community, the sins of the tribe, putting it into the scapegoat, and then pushing the poor bastard out in the desert to die from dehydration, starvation, and predators. And then the sins washed away. They went with it. Not me. The narcissist is there. I'm fine. Weak.
Wow. Well, that explains quite a lot about what's happening right now, doesn't it?
Right?
Wow. Wow. And you got to ask the question, who's guiding it down this avenue? Because there's humans responsible for the direction where all this is going.
Yes. Yeah.
And so
Crazy
that's
bitches.
what this debate is about. Crazy bitches and a controlled secret socialist order.
Right? Yeah, that video you sent me about
Who knows? Because I've spoken before earlier on, there's so many different secret orders all against rivaling each other, and they could be working together, could be working against each other, there could be Hegelian dialect. There's so many, so that's why it's so important to try your best to research all the symbols so you can recognize what represents what, who secretly represents, their little faction or lodge or whatever you want to say.
Yeah.
And
So that,
because one thing I know about Masons is like females are not really allowed in it. It's pretty exclusively male. So
So,
Hence,
question.
they're attracted to meat toe.
Right, right. So
Mm,
you bring up
mm.
the Hegelian dialect a lot. What exactly do you mean by that?
Was problem action, was problem reaction solution. You know,
Mm,
you first create the problem, you
hmm.
let the people react to it, then
Yes,
you offer the solution.
yes,
So basically, you got the left-right paradigm,
yeah,
and so one side is good, one side is bad, and you keep switching those paradigms, and you have it's basically politics in a nutshell.
yeah,
Now the Hegelian dialectic, and it doesn't matter who you vote, the government gets in because the same owners or influencers control
mm,
all politicians,
right.
and it's the same with the manosphere
So I think that's
or
built
anything
in.
along those lines. You can apply this to any movement, you know, because the only reason why I see this is I've seen it in other movements and I put the patterns together.
Yeah,
You know, they can't help themselves, and they all mean this. You know, the language means things. You know,
hmm,
if they don't say a certain thing, it doesn't mean it, does it? So they have to say these certain things because that's what they believe.
yeah. I think that's built into the feminist source code, though, because I've seen that exact same thing. I've seen Miss Elite clone people's accounts and start trouble. And fast forward to like right now, she created a problem, then she then has the solution for. So once the guys started attacking all these guys because she started some shit, now these guys are over there in her clutches.
But you was on. Did you actually see it when Miss Elite come onto the scene in the very
No,
first?
no,
I did.
I heard
I did.
that she's been terrorizing the manosphere for like 8 years.
But who put her there? Men. Mr. Elite and his chat. And that's why she used to be called Penny Proud.
Yeah.
And I reckon, you know, the first ever biggest drama was Mr. Elite apparently meeting up with Miss Elite. And
Yeah.
from everything I believe now, he went off and did PUA. I believe it now because of his actions.
Mm-hmm.
And so I reckon she's been given a bit of a handy to cause all this trouble.
Oh yeah, big time. No,
I think
her.
someone's been giving her a bit of a payoff. I think, and
Uh, I,
that's why she's so. Or some favors or something because she's getting something out of this,
oh
and it's
yeah,
not
she
just
is.
supply because
Uh,
she's been around for a long time,
hmm.
and I reckon it's a lot more. I reckon she's possibly in an intimate relationship or possibly working with someone because these men keep bringing her up.
Well, she spends all day,
And
every
it's the
day.
same men. It's the same men that say don't bring her up, and
Yeah,
they keep
yeah,
bringing
yeah,
her up.
yeah. Well, she she emotionally terrorizes men. Like she has probably, I don't
That's
know,
because they
five or
allow it.
well,
They allow it. I haven't.
yes,
Why hasn't she terrorized me?
because you have boundaries.
Because I didn't allow it. Because I
Yeah,
didn't allow it.
yeah. But she wasn't able to get to you. I mean, she's not specifically targeting you.
Because I
Like,
didn't. No, I couldn't have allowed her to get to me at a click of a finger. I knew her game, and I
yeah,
didn't allow it.
yeah. Well, some guys are emotionally stronger than others.
Well, it depends on the scenario, but yeah, I agree. I agree.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Going back to something we've talked about before, emotional literacy and all the things, like
yeah. Being honest, yeah.
being honest, there's some people, some guys that have better boundaries around their emotions.
Mm, mm. I'm not one of them. I'm still building mine.
Yeah.
So you know, I'm still testing grounds, finding, you know, discovering this new plane of discovery, as to say, because it is a new plane of discovery. You got to push boundaries, and you got to find how empathetic it can be with forming your own boundaries, like that distance you can go without being a prick, you know,
Yeah.
basically. So that's where I'm at personally. And I think there's a lot of people that there is on that same path as well, because it's that kind of what you call it, malaise kind of area, isn't it? Where you're still forming your shell of boundaries.
Yeah. Well, I think a lot of men in our society weren't aware of the kind of caliber of crazy bitch women that were out there just waiting to predate upon the wounded. So I think a lot of guys haven't had the opportunity to just sit and chill and reflect and heal and all the things, especially with this crazy bitch orbiting the manosphere, like constantly predating upon the emotionally weakest people. That's what I have a problem with, because I'm like, I see this predator who's able to get under the skin of people because she knows how. And she does pick on the weakest emotionally. So how do you go about healing when you're constantly being picked at?
If you get picked at by Miss Elite, you're a weak, stupid prick. She's not intelligent. She's stupid. She's hollow. She's gaslighting. How can anybody let her get to you? I don't understand. I don't get it. I can't relate. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
I just cannot relate. I've interacted with her. I've seen her from the start. And I just... Why can't people just say no?
Yeah.
What? I don't get it.
I don't get it either. Well, damn it, Manly. I was hoping you would shed some light on this.
Well, it's a bit more common sense than that. It's just people not having the backbone to say no. It's a bit more simple. That's my opinion.
Yeah.
There's not all these. She's not this magic magician who's intelligent and she knows how to press buttons.
Yeah.
Now, anybody can do that. My 6-year-old niece can do that.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah.
You know. So it doesn't take intelligence to do that.
Yeah.
So it's more fundamental of how do you let a fool trick you?
Yeah.
You got tricked by a fool. I don't know, what can I say? Learn from it.
You know what I see her throwing out as bait, though? Like, she's able to sucker in men that have a vendetta against another man. And she, like, waves over this bait. She's like, ooh, you don't like this guy? I know something. Here, come here. I'll tell you. Like, that seems to work.
Because she's a paid divisionist.
You think so?
She's been ordered by the order to create division on purpose. This is a social engineering experiment. People think it's money and think it's grifting. That's been the narrative that's been put out there to distract you from the truth, the Hegelian dialectic.
Mm-hmm.
You know, the real truth is the real game is social engineering, which you said you don't want to go into it, Mitch, but into it much, and I will honour your wishes. But they want to change our genetics, our epigenetics through our mind.
Hmm.
And so they've got to convince us to think what they want us to think to change us through generations, everything. And that's why over generations you're getting more sociopathic people, more narcissists, because it's a poison of the mind.
Yes.
That's filtering out into the genetics.
Yeah.
And so you know, like how they want to promote aggression and violence against women. Do that for 3 generations, and you're going to get women being beat up.
See, I don't see a promotion of violence against women.
That's because there was a moral pushback. When MGTOW first started, there was a big push. Oh, we don't care about violence on women. We don't care. And that this was the first ever divisionist thing ever in MGTOW. Because remember, I was here before it started. I started following MRA. So there's a lot of these men being separated from the group because they didn't agree with violence against women. And over time, that narrative slowly get dropped because there was too much of a resistance, a too moral pushback. You know, you shouldn't hit women, of course. You shouldn't hit anybody.
Right.
You know.
What about self-defense when a woman's hitting you first?
Oh, and then you break her bones.
Right? See, that's what I don't. I'm definitely late to the scene. I've only been like observing this space for. Well, actually, BRP was the first man in the quote unquote manosphere that ever came on my channel for a conversation. And he told me about Hammerhand and kind of pushed me, like led me over. Because I think before that I was still in the kind of the academic arena and different feminist organization arena. But he was the first quote unquote manosphere dude to join my panel and have a conversation with me. And he gave me some channels to check out. So I checked them out, like, on my research adventure or journey or whatever. But yeah.
Well, it definitely beats me getting into it from what's that? I keep forgetting, is that famous bald guy who started off on cars, sells that pheromone soap? Oh, what's his name? You know what I'm on about, don't you?
I'm not sure which one.
Oh, don't you? Anyway, people in the old manosphere know what I'm about. Jack Murphy's coming to mind, but it's not Jack Murphy.
Yeah,
Anyway, it's sort of PUA.
Oh, Entrepreneur in Cars.
That's the one. That's the one.
Yeah.
I actually got it in through there. Not that I liked him, but that was like the first video I was watching. I was like, oh, this is sort of interesting. You know, the algorithm spreads you out, doesn't it?
Yeah.
And then, and because I was into the psychology, it started referring me to, like Chris Grannon and stuff like that. Because for some reason, it linked Chris Grannon with David Icke.
You keep saying Chris Grannon.
Chris Grannon? Oh, no, sorry. Chris Grannon. Yeah, it's really bad Freudian slip, Hayes.
Yeah.
Classic Freudian.
Yeah.
It's more like retardation. But yeah. Richard Grannon,
Yeah. Yeah, it's interesting. Yeah, no, I've been to all the bubbles, all the different group identity bubbles, because I had this
theory.
theory.
The vegan one yet? That's a fireworks show.
Yeah, no, I mean, I peek into them, and I kind of do a little math equation on the the percentage of crazy bitches that dwell in such area.
Yeah,
and I don't.
You've got to go sort of outside the main circles to sort of find the headed people, the well-minded.
Yeah, I mean, like, your people are fucking nuts.
I'm not vegan.
Oh, you're not?
No, I'm not vegan. No.
Well,
I mean, I share a lot. I'm called vegan because I share a lot of their beliefs, but I'm not vegan.
Okay. Well, I have one.
I care for animals. So obviously, you got the propaganda, the mainstream propaganda of, the left, right, the blue, red, meat and veganism kind of, So that they use that divisionist tactic on me, the witch hunt tactic on me, just to stop the conversation.
So there has been many witch hunts that I have observed online.
Mm-hmm.
And I think yours happened around the same time Contriver was witch hunted.
A bit after.
A bit after?
Yeah, they was first. Yeah.
Okay.
But mine, theirs was more. They had more people. Mine was more a little small pocket of people who just really didn't like me. Which I know now why. But it's still like that now. And those pockets that people who hated me are causing all this crap now. Same people.
Well, I see crazy bitchery behind it.
I see a planned, intricate. It doesn't sound right. A planned, intricate plan. I mean, an intricate kind of manifestation, as to say.
Yeah. Because you give these crazy bitches way more credit. They don't plan.
No.
It just happens. And it looks like it's by design.
A lot of them are opportunists, and the ones that are not are very intellectual, and they're in on it,
Yeah.
and they hide under the silt of the stupid people.
Yes, they do.
Mm-hmm. They play
I mean,
dumb.
because something you mentioned on your chat with TNFS about puppets and how people will go in and emotionally provoke to try to, get an emotional response and all those things. And you were kind of framing it as Mason stuff, but that's exactly what these women do. These crazy bitches.
Mm-hmm. It's the same though, because we're getting into that bridge now where we started started a stream where we're going into the Fabian Society now.
Yeah.
Because we disagreed on this because you think feminism from the start was toxic, and
Yes, I do.
I'm actually arguing first wave feminism was brilliant. It was actually
Really?
anti-slave move. Yes, first wave feminism actually set up the railway, the underground railway.
See,
It was one of you got the Seneca Convention, and the
Uh-huh.
two people who started
Uh-huh.
that. Was it Hoffler? I can't remember the names. I think the name, the one with a H, second name H, I think. She actually was involved in setting up the underground railway system, which was designed to free slaves. And her mission statement was originally to free slaves, but she was doing it from a female point of view. The other
Okay.
side, the other female person who set the Seneca
Manley,
Convention up was
what's her name?
high class. Well, Google it. There's two people who set up the Seneca Convention. There's two of them. They were the main two people who were responsible for popularizing and setting up first wave feminism.
Feminist founders.
Yeah,
It's a was the first women's rights convention and was organized by a group of 5 women.
yeah. There's the two main ones. There's two main ones that spoke on the first day.
I mean, because I believe the man-hating, lesbian, fucking sex cult has been corrupt from the very beginning.
Lucretia Coffin Mott, I think she was the one involved in setting up the underground anti-slavery railway. It's in right now. So everybody's talking about Fallout 4 or Fallout right now.
Uh-huh.
That's a faction in that game, the underground rail system, and that and in the game that they're actually their role is to free robotic slaves. So it's going off real history.
Mm.
It's not robots, just humans.
Yeah. I don't know.
So and then I was trying to tell you, feminists went. My opinion, when I think feminists went sour, was second wave feminism. That's when masonry and feminism joined up together with some other factions to create the Fabian Society.
Mm. Yeah, because you still are under the impression that it was started for good intentions.
The feminism was sort of. Two minds with it because there was both high middle class people. There wasn't people from poverty that rose up for organic. Like the other was it Elizabeth Cady Stanton. She was raised in a middle class family, high class family. She had a judge as a dad who taught her all the law, this is a really good bridge of why the manosphere is not going anywhere, because she had a judge who taught her all the laws, and she had, was it a lawyer as a mother as well? A sister as a lawyer, a mother as well. So she had all.
So her mom was a feminist.
Well, feminism didn't exist back then, apparently.
Any woman that wants to be a lawyer is a feminist. Women do not believe. Women do not belong in government and law.
Yeah, Russell Brand's a feminist to you, is it?
Yeah. Yes, he is.
He's anyway, yeah. But Elizabeth Cady Stanton come from a very high class family who taught her all the laws, and then later on it was said that he started disagreeing with her views of trying to free women to raise their wages, and what was it now? Because they couldn't vote.
Yeah,
and they knew by law they had to release they had to make everybody eligible for voting.
Yeah,
And
when it
so
used to not be that way.
that's what happened. That they
Yeah.
actually won. It was Elizabeth Cady Staunton who did it. She did all the law work. And so they went through law, used their own laws to free humanity in first wave feminism. All of humanity. For selfish reasons, yes? Because they wanted to free women, yeah? Well, Elizabeth Cady Stanton did, but the Khrushchev in that was just a humanitarian.
I'm gonna look up these women.
And then you say look into it, and then what is the bridge between first wave and second wave? Right smack bang in the middle is the Fabian Society, and you go look it up. It's like all these Masons and all these feminists and all these other societies come together and start infiltrating politics. And what do we have today? Feminism and Masonry in politics everywhere.
Yes. Yeah. I mean, because
it was the Fabian Society, I'm telling you.
No. In Freebird, me and Freebird go back and forth on this. I don't believe women should have any business in politics, and I think that the 19th Amendment was an overcorrection for what was really going on in society, and it's just been declining ever since.
I'll politely disagree. I don't think there should be any politics. I think we should just scrap them all, hang them all.
Yes. I agree. Well, the lesbian sex cult has been a thing for a long time. I mean, in the entire history of forever, there's always been women that...
I've been looking one all my life. I'd love to join one. I've been looking all my life.
Yeah.
Where are they? No, I'm just joking around.
I can show you where they are. There's a couple channels that has the sex cult leaders, and they are a massive network connected throughout the entire world.
Yeah, I'm pretty much aware of all this sex culty stuff.
And then they infiltrate through academia. They brainwash young women. They terrorize emotionally young women to be afraid of men, to hate men. Because they push these degrees and the strong independent woman thing, right? But they literally make these women believe all these terrible things that they say about men, and they end up joining their sex cults. And these are our teachers. These are our fucking... I mean, these women are everywhere.
You know what makes it more effective?
What?
Half of those things about men are right.
Like what?
Like all what do you mean, like what?
Yeah.
All the excuse, yeah, but all the excuse, because I said that because you explained their excuses. It wasn't my excuses.
Yeah,
I was saying their excuses.
Tell me one that's
half
right.
Half of them are correct. Well, look at the manosphere right now. Do you think anybody would want to date anything that's going on right now? Like anyone of sound mind. Look what's happening with the manosphere now. If this is the pinnacle of what men are meant to be, do you really think a sane woman wanted anything to do with them?
No. I mean, there's a lot of, going back to what you said, the trauma. There's been a lot of emotional terrorism and oppression that has been done by women to men. In the psychology field, I mostly focus on, because that's where our highest number of feminists are. And there's a major mental health crisis in our society. And I mean, men can't go to feminists for help. And so the manosphere, I see, has been doing its damnedest to try to pick up the slack the psychology field has been.
I disagree with that. It's been doing its best to manipulate and distract.
You think so?
Because when you first had a few people that started talking about spiritual and health and stuff like that, and it started slowly. These people stopped making content, probably because they was harassed to death and moved on and did their own thing. Then you have other faces start coming in and taking over, and over time you started things being removed, and you wonder why. And then you get this witch hunt against you, and then you'll go, that's how they've done it. That's how they've shaped certain narratives, promoted certain people. Because behind the scenes, they've done all these witch hunts, and now it's starting to come to the surface. People are seeing it in public view now. It's becoming unhideable. This was all done for years secretly in Discord servers.
Well, for the channels that keep getting canceled, like women do that. People that become offended, they have a report button that they have a drop down menu of with a list of all the way whoever content creator channel hurt their feelings. Like women do that shit.
You know, you said that. I don't think I've reported anyone.
Yeah,
No, I
'cause you're
think
a man.
I think I've reported one person for promotion of violence. I think that was it.
Yeah. But the majority of women online, they use that.
Yeah,
That's
I
how
know
these
they do.
channels
Yeah,
get canceled.
yeah. They do. Yeah. My channel got cancelled by that type of behaviour.
Yeah.
And this is my reloaded. You know, it's my second channel. And feminists didn't attack me.
No.
I've not been attacked by one LGBTQ. I've not been attacked by any trans. I've not been attacked by any female. Elite tried it. I didn't allow her. I've been attacked by men because I had faith in them. I knew what she was, but I had faith in men, and I was wrong to have faith in the internet man. You know, I should have had faith in just growing together with information instead of being a community. You know, because that's originally what a lot of us come into. They want a community, but then they realise that you know, them already joining an existing one with existing rules, and they won't know about it until about 2 years in it, and then them getting witch hunted.
Yeah.
And then the others stand by. A lot of them stand by. Go, well, it's not me, so it doesn't matter. And then you got the secret ringleaders pushing the narrative and pushing the bullies, no matter what, because that's what their role is, to push that behaviour and that narrative. It's the behaviour they're pushing, and they're protecting their brothers, no matter what. It doesn't matter what crime they've committed. It doesn't matter whether they're ostracising people left, right, and centre, treating people like shit. As long as they say the narrative the majority want, them accepted. So morality and empathy has nothing to do with being a good man, according to MGTOW. I mean, we're witnessing it right now. We're seeing it in our own eyes. Morality and empathy has been removed from men on the whole. We're seeing it now.
I think a lot of people, I think a lot of people that are in that dichotomous thinking, that black and white, us versus them, they have a hard time seeing and having empathy. Like, I am absolutely guilty of that myself. I have an extreme bias when it comes to crazy bitches. I'm extremely biased.
I know that.
I have zero sympathy for an adult woman who misbehaves, hates men, fucking spends all her time online fucking just abusing people. Like, I have zero fucking empathy for that. I don't give a flying fuck why she is the way she is, honestly. I mean, I understand what a lot of people say is why she is the way she is, but I don't give a shit.
In reality, they should be in an insane asylum.
They should.
In reality,
they need to be in the crazy camp.
Literally, because people who do that, they are fucking literally insane.
They are nuts. Exactly.
We see that or the paid, but yeah.
See, I see them as crazy bitches, and I see the psychology, because I have a bone to pick with the psychology field, because it is full of feminists. It's full of women, and I think they have been absolutely covering up their crimes against humanity. Like, the past 30 years of research that has been done on, I mean, they pathologize masculinity. They have been for decades. And I see it as a literal crime against humanity, that these crazy bitches are in these positions of authority to continue oppressing people. oppressing the truth, pathologizing people that have boundaries and saying no.
Then we're going to start talking about the order of the dragon, the blood of the dragon. So
Yeah.
how you got the sisters of the dragon and the
Right.
priests of the dragon,
Right.
and so you're like the feminists are the daughters and the wives of the dragon, the
Yeah.
order of the dragon, and the Masons are the male order of the dragon.
Okay.
The high end Masons. Actually, before we go into the Masons, would you mind playing that Mark Passio clip for me? Because he explains this. Because I can rant on about it, and I won't give it justice. I'll probably miss some things out, and I think he explains it. It's like a 15-minute piece, and he explains that how intricate this thing works.
Okay. Which one is that, Amanley? Do you have it?
I think I've only sent you one Mark Passio clip, I think.
You know how far back this is in our conversation?
Yeah, the latest one. Yeah, it's the last one I sent you.
The last one. Okay.
Yeah. WOEIH. What on earth is happening?
Okay. I thought Bill Cooper was the latest one.
No. I sent you one this earlier on.
Today.
Yeah. Just for this very moment. It's called Fiat Lux. Yeah.
I see it. All right.
Because I can explain it all to Kingdom Come, but I don't believe I haven't got the confidence enough to give it justice. I know this man will.
Okay.
No taboo topics when you call in.
Okay, this is
you only
an
need
hour
the first
and
20 minutes. Yeah, you
first
only need
20 minutes?
First 15 to 20 minutes, depending when he finishes it.
Okay, let's do it.
Feel free to talk about anything you like. There never are any taboo topics here on What on Earth is Happening. So that's the event announcements and the call-in number. Let's jump right into the topic, and I'll keep an eye on the phone lines in the switch.
What did you say?
Just said get your popcorn out.
Right.
Board here on TalkShoe while we break down some more esoteric symbolism of the craft, Freemasonry. Here we go. A few weeks back, we left off on the first degree tracing board, and we had also been discussing the legend of Hiram Abiff. I'm going to pick up with the first degree tracing board. We've already pretty much broken down most of the symbolism. For those of you who want to follow the images that I'm going to be talking about, they are right there underneath the player. Images for tonight's show, April 26, 2011, on the radio listen page of whatonearthishappening.com. So you click the radio listen page right underneath the embedded player. You'll see the images. There's 13 of them for tonight, and they're labeled Freemasonry. So image number 1 shows the first degree tracing board, which we had been extensively breaking down in the last show, which was about 3 weeks ago, where we were discussing this symbol, this complex symbol, which is given to the first degree initiate of the Freemasonic tradition. And for a very, very brief review, Freemasonry is simply a tradition in which natural law and morality is taught through a system of symbols, allegories, and rituals. Now, again, I am speaking of the real, true, esoteric tradition of Freemasonry, not necessarily what the lodge system of Freemasonry in the modern world has become. And it is critical to make that distinction. For people that think that any form of the occult is one thing, okay? And indeed, this is a form of occultism. This is an occult tradition. For anybody that continues to make the grave mistake of thinking that any particular form of the occult is one thing, This is unidimensional thinking, and it is thinking that will lead one astray from what any of the particular symbols of any occult tradition actually mean in context where they are being used, okay? Because Freemasonry, as we've already said, is not one thing. It depends on who is wielding its tools. The occult is not one thing. It depends on who wields the occulted information, whether they are wielding the information to enlighten people and to bring it forward into the light so that more light can be fostered as a result of sharing that previously occulted information, okay? In which case I would call it light occultism. A light occultist is trying to bring forward things that have previously been hidden and make people aware of things that they are not aware of that may be used against them as a weapon because they are pieces of information about the human psyche and the human psychology in general that if it is known by people without one's best interest in mind, can be used as a weapon against those who don't possess that said information. So this is what the occult actually is. We've talked about this at length in past shows, so I won't extensively review that material. But the key thing to keep in mind here for new listeners, the occult is not one thing. Any particular occult tradition is not one thing. It depends on how it is being used. It can be used as a tool of enlightenment. It can be used as a tool of manipulation and oppression, depending on the consciousness of the wielder, okay, of that particular set of tools or information. So, going back to image number 1, the first degree tracing board, we looked at pretty much most of the symbolism in here. I wanted to touch on a few things that we had left off on. The initiates that are going up the ladder here, and again, the ladder represents coming out of base consciousness, represented by the checkerboard floor, okay, and going up the ladder toward the realm of the gods. Okay, we looked in astrotheology that all of the religions are based on the sun, the moon, and the stars and planets. And you see those in the sky above the checkerboard floor. This is known as the entire image is known as the Temple of Solomon, the Temple of the Sun and Moon, okay, because it is a symbolic representation of the individual, of their masculine or solar and their feminine or lunar aspects, okay? It is a...
Hold on, Manly. I have to pause right there because I thought, based on what the other guy said, that he was saying it was switched, right? And then it used to be feminine was solar and masculine was lunar.
That's something we've both got to go back and confirm, because many times with these two people, because those two people you're talking about, Marco Savio and Mark Passio, they're very good friends. They work together a lot. So it wouldn't have been a contradiction. So there's obviously some missing information there. For example, Savio could be talking about it before the Masonic religion became prominent. You know, or the order, because it wasn't a religion to begin with. You know, so we just got to go back and see if we can collaborate or find anything. And if there is any questions, then we carry on asking the questions, don't we?
Yeah.
So
okay.
Allegory, a symbolic allegory of bringing together the feminine, internal, emotional qualities, okay, or one's spirit or emotions, together with the solar masculine qualities of right action. That's ultimately what this symbol is about. So it's unifying one's emotions and actions. In other words, becoming a non-dual being. What you feel, okay, you enact in the world. There's no contradiction between those two things. Okay, so there's no internal opposition. What you think, you feel, you do. That's it. Straightforward, fairly simple. The key in the middle, held by the green initiate, we talked about the frequency green. We talked about it being the color of the heart chakra, the center of nature. The color green, provided in greatest abundance, by nature, the natural world. Okay, it's the color of the Anahata chakra, which we talked about was, the center of self, the true center of self. Okay, it's the generator. Okay, this is why you see the initiate's robe shaped like a G. We talked about the G in the middle of the compasses and square on previous broadcasts, representing the generative principle of true care, what comes from the heart. What you care about is ultimately what you manifest. And that's the key to everything. That's the law of attraction. That's the generative principle. That is why that key is suspended there from that G, okay, or the green initiate. The green initiate is also holding an anchor, because that is what anchors us in any of our decisions, in any of our actions. Ultimately, we have to care enough to get something done, to bring something into manifestation, to do it. And that key is being suspended by a thread. Okay, and here's the whole key to this entire symbol. It's saying that in the world, care dangles by a thread, and this is the key to everything. It's the key to unlocking everything, all of the causal nature, the underlying causal nature of all of the problems that we experience as a species or as individuals is dependent upon that thread not being cut and the key dropping below. Okay, so this is a symbolic warning, if you will. Okay, that key represents care, and it's the initiates of this tradition, I should say the masters of this tradition, who are giving this tracing board to the initiates, are telling them symbolically, you're living in a world where care is dangling by a thread. That key is the most important thing that there is. Again, symbolically, that key grants you access to the star gate, which lies at the end of the ladder. And that star gate is illumination. It is enlightenment. Okay? And we're going to see how this makes even more sense in a few moments, when we turn the tracing board onto its side, onto its right side, turning it 90 degrees clockwise. Okay? We'll look at that in a few moments. Some of the other things I just wanted to touch on was some of the symbolic language that is encoded into something like the tracing board. Okay? First, we have columns. Okay? And we looked at the word column in the French language. Column means dove. Okay? The dove is associated with the spirit. Okay? It's associated with the goddess. Okay? Again, the green initiate in the middle is a symbolic representation of the goddess again. Okay? However, the columns themselves are wordplay. Column is wordplay for the dove, okay, or the sacred feminine principle. Care is what this entire thing is ultimately about. And this is why in the Freemasonic tradition it is said that we can only make good men better. Okay, or I would revise that, because I horribly disagree with the idea of Masonry, even within the lodge system, excluding women in the official lodge systems, okay, and putting them in a separate organization known as the...
Wait, he just said he disagreed with excluding women into the Masons. Really?
The Order of the Eastern Star. If you're talking about bridging the masculine and feminine, you need
Bloody
to
mic was off.
integrative.
Oh, no, that's fine.
I was talking. I was like,
Oh.
"When you're not responding," my mic was off. No, I said, "Well, that's his opinion, isn't it?
Yeah.
Because
Yeah.
he's an ex-Satanist. He's the next priest. So, you know,
Yeah,
he's a
that's what you were
whistleblower.
saying. These guys are ex-Satanists.
Yeah, the whistle.
Yeah. You know what's interesting and why I really appreciate this? Because I started a new channel because I kind of gave up on this one. I wanted to start one to really have a better chance, I think, at having conversations with women. And there's a lady that I found her channel, and she talks about all this fucking spirituality shit, and it's like I'll listen to her and I'm like, I don't know the technology. I don't know what half the shit she's saying actually translates to. And she kind of talks like super fast, but I'm like, something Like, I agree with something about what she's saying. I just don't fully understand it. I already reached out to her to see if she'd have a conversation, but
But
this is definitely good prep work for that.
Oh, yes, it is actually. Yes.
Yeah.
If
Yeah, yeah.
if my connection might be dipping in and out, my little internet monitor is saying really unstable signs at the moment. So if I drop in and out, just be patient. I'll come back.
Yeah, yeah, no worries. Okay, I'm going to keep playing this.
Yes.
Yeah? More?
Oh yeah.
Oh, here. I think somebody's asking for the link here. I'm going to drop the link for this. Because I'm not dropping the StreamYard link. This is a two-person conversation, and just anybody who haven't realized it yet, Amanda's not paying attention to the chat. So this is just a us conversation. You guys are more than willing, or more than welcome to participate in the chat, but I've already made it clear that I don't want any of your guys' fuckery here. So
yeah, I made it
I
clear
did let my
to,
mods.
I made it clear that I didn't want anyone in the chat diverging our natural conversation.
Yeah.
That was it.
So here's the link for that, if that's what y'all were wanting. I'm going to continue playing it.
An integral approach when it comes to the sexes in your own lodge. And I understand all of the justifications that go for keeping that segregation in place and how it's tradition, etc., and how, there would be different kinds of sexual dynamics going on in the lodge system. Nonsense. This segregation is part of what keeps people away from Freemasonry. And I wouldn't even recommend going toward the...
Wait a minute, he's totally advocating for all inclusion into Freemasonry.
Did you listen to the start of the video where he says that's not original Freemasonry? The original Freemasonry he agrees with. Did you miss that part?
I did, apparently. So the original was
at the
segregated?
Start, he says this is not what a Masonry started out to be.
Okay.
So he agrees with
segregation.
Masonry, but so he agrees with what Masonry originally stood for. He doesn't agree with what it is now.
Okay. I like the other guy better.
Exactly like how I agree with first wave feminism, but don't agree with second wave.
Yeah. And I don't see it as anything different. It's the same crazy bitch, resentful fucking lesbian sex cult it started out to be.
If men had any two balls and a spine and any two fucking brain cells for the spark, they'd learn the law like the feminists did, exactly like they did, and start petition properly in law. Because MRI said they did, but I didn't see any evidence of it. Did you? I didn't. I didn't see
I don't know.
I didn't see no thousands of men in the streets waiting for a court case.
See, and I did have a chat with Cardinal Smith about that because
maybe he did, but I didn't see that. So that's what all this is. It's to prevent men becoming feminists in a way to fight for their own fucking rights. Tell them, first wave feminism, by the way, not second wave.
Yeah. Okay, I'm going to push play.
Okay, look.
Lodge system, period. But it puts a bad taste in people's mouth that this is what this institution, who is allegedly trying to teach this integration of masculine and feminine forces, indwelling forces, okay? It paints a bad picture in people's mind because what they're doing in their initiatory traditions is segregating men and women. Therefore, how can anybody think that ultimately what they're going to do, if they're doing that in a physical sense, is going to raise people's vibrations in consciousness to come out of that level of duality, okay, that's symbolically expressed through their own segregation of the sexes. It's ridiculous. And it's something that, the true light Masons in this tradition need to take a good hard look at and admit that it's time to reevaluate that policy. But again, I'm not interested in Lodge Freemasonry anyway. I'm just stating that for the record. That's what I think about that. I'm interested in the real tradition of Freemasonry from an esoteric perspective, which no one needs to go inside any particular building in the world to understand and embody in their life. Just like I need to step inside no church to embody the principles upon which true esoteric Christianity is based, and which the teacher attributed to under the name of Christ is put forward and lived, and then showed people that this is the way out of suffering and this is the way toward true enlightenment. I need no affiliations with any church on earth to live my life according to those standards and ideals. Absolutely zero. Therefore, one needs zero affiliations with any institutionalized Freemasonic structures in order to truly embody, understand, and live the philosophy that is contained within the true Freemasonic esoteric tradition. Okay, so in those ways, I could say that I consider myself an esoteric Christian, and I consider myself an esoteric Freemason. Okay, however, I belong to no institutions on the earth that structure themselves in a compartmentalized, hierarchical, and segregating way. All right? And never
He's
will.
also an
So
open
that's just my
first wave
stance and
feminist.
position on that. And for those...
What, Amanda?
See, he's also admits to be an open first wave feminist because his claim is that he's anti-slavery.
Yeah. And that's
Why he But
yeah,
he says
which
second wave.
I get it.
But he has made the neo-satanic feminist agenda, so there's no way in hell that he agrees with it. But he,
Right.
first wave. He's a first. He classes himself as first wave.
Yeah, well, most men
Anti-slavery.
in today's society are. Most men give the crazy bitches in the first wave the benefit of the doubt and
what's
put up the
happened?
thing saying, "Oh, it was necessary and women needed all these things," and when
what's happened? Women have fought for the law through the Seneca Convention and the virtuated politics, and Masons have purposely left that information out so men can't rise equally with them. So now women are above most women. How many women lawyers do you know now? Most of them are women now.
Mhm.
Most of them.
Yeah, because
That's
the
been done by
universities
design.
are
because
graduating 2 women to every man.
Men are not learning the law anymore.
Yeah.
So they don't fight for our rights. So women are always going to win more laws because they know the law. It's common sense.
Yeah.
If you don't know the game, you're going to lose against someone who's been playing it for 5 years.
Yeah, well,
You
the
know?
feminists have been using affirmative action to gain that footing. They keep using using Black people to further the feminist agenda.
I'll use anyone, they will.
They will.
But anyone at the right time that suits the right face. And they even throw their own under the buzz, and they've shown to do that. So
Yeah. More of this?
Oh, so is MGTOW.
We're 13 and a half minutes in. Do we want to hear more?
Yeah, I think it's around about the 18-minute mark, 19-minute mark I wanted to get to, I think.
Okay.
Those who might have been curious about that, there is on the table. So going back to the symbolism, okay, because we have a lot to break down, and I want to try to get through most of the images here tonight. The ladder represents coming up to higher levels of consciousness and balance, because that's what this symbol is all about. It is about balance and synthesis, the merging of the masculine and feminine forces, the synthesis between them, uniting emotion and action. Okay, and that pillar in the middle represents that synthesis coming out of the world of duality, which is what the 2 pillars represent. And as you progress through time, represented by moving from west to east, okay, the western direction at the bottom, okay, away from the gods in the eastern direction up at the top, okay, you are ascending that ladder away out of darkness and toward the light of the sun, okay, and you're going up the middle pillar toward the all-seeing eye. And we talked about the masculine architecture on the left-hand pillar, the pillar of Joachim, or the pillar of strength, as it is known, is Doric, or a masculine style of architecture. The feminine pillar on the right, the pillar of Boaz, or the pillar of beauty, is Corinthian in its architecture, which is a feminine style of architecture, and it leads to the moon. In the middle, you have the Ionic pillar, okay? An Ionic pillar. This is wordplay, again, just like the columns themselves, the column, okay? The column, it's wordplay, right? Here's more wordplay. The Ionic pillar, okay? It leads to the all-seeing eye, which is turned on. The eye on, okay? Which represents, as we talked about in many shows before, the awakened pineal gland or the third eye chakra, okay? So this is the spiritual vision that is turned on so that one can see the world for what it really is once they have acquired enough knowledge or understanding, which is represented by light, okay? And you don't climb that ladder unless you have the key, which is care. You have to care enough to make that climb out of darkness and into light, or out of ignorance and toward knowledge, okay, in order to turn the third eye on, which represents balance. That's why it's in the middle between the sun and the moon, okay? The sun and the moon, or Solomon, okay, it's the temple of Solomon, the sun and the moon. And the temple, okay, or the cranial cavity where the temples are at, that's what holds the human brain. And again, this is about the left and right brain hemispheres being balanced or coming together to turn on the third eye or awaken the dormant, the otherwise dormant, if it's in a state of imbalance. If the brain hemispheres are in a state of imbalance, the pineal gland really doesn't truly come online, okay, or activate or turn on, okay, to grant one the spiritual insight or the spiritual sight that they need to see the world as it really is, okay? So they won't see all the controls. They won't see all the manipulations. They won't see the methods of mind control. They won't see the flagrant violations of natural law and inherent human rights that are taking place all around us. Okay,
Hello.
so this is a pretty much where I want to hold, breaking down the individual symbolism. Okay, we can talk a little bit more about some of the tools. Okay, I believe I went briefly into that. You have the level at the base of the active pillar. That means our actions must be in balance. Okay, you have the plum leaned up against the feminine pillar. Okay, this means that we have to govern our emotions and always keep them upright, try to maintain as much positivity as it is within our ability to maintain, okay, in order to bridge our emotions and actions in a positive way. Okay, our emotions have to be upright, because that's what the plum does. It allows one to build things upright. Okay, and the square in the middle of the leaned up against the middle pillar, or the pillar of wisdom, marked by the W. This is also known as Jacob's ladder. Okay, the square in its inverted configuration there, or the point up, means that we have conquered our base nature. Okay, the base animalistic nature, that basically results from staying in base consciousness, represented by the floor of the house. This means we have come off the floor of the house, in other words, or out of beast-like consciousness, okay, base consciousness, okay, being ruled by the fight or flight response.
Yeah, by the way, I have a question. Why is the moon feminine pillar bigger than the one they're claiming is supposed to be masculine? I'm just curious.
Maybe because masculine's
taller.
straight to the point and the feminine's all about show and beauty. So it's just more extravagant. Taller. Maybe there's some meaning to it. Maybe it probably goes into it later on. But one thing I noticed, that did you not notice that the Manosphere played a chess competition recently? And so it's like they're probably mocking all the men to saying that you're still on the floor.
Actually, they started playing chess kind of a long time ago, and they just kind of made a fundraiser.
I remember because they started it exactly the same time they ostracized me.
Yeah.
And I made a community post explaining the esoteric meanings of chess.
Mm. What's the esoteric
And
meaning of chess? Because I love that game. My father taught me how to play the game. I grew up
duality in it,
playing
black and
it.
white. It's the
Yes,
duality,
but it's a
black
game
and
of
white.
strategy.
Yes, and so the board, as Mark Pascal said, is the bottom layer, lower end of life. And you've got to raise off the checkerboard into illumination. So by playing chess, they was telling everybody you're still on the lower plane, you're still on the board, you're not even rising with us. It's like a mockery.
Yeah, but checkers is different than chess. Checkers is like anybody.
It's the same symbolism, isn't it? It's the same symbolism. It's all about symbols.
See, I don't know. I mean, I know floors are like that. There's a lot of floors, like tile floors, that are often like that.
Most Freemason temples as well.
Mm.
If not all of them. You know, it's all symbolism. You know, it's not. They're not here to. They are here to mock us, because you know there's a lot of sociopaths in the order, but their knowledge is here to set us free. But they're just not telling us, and that's the reason why I'm so angry right now at the Manosphere. They've got all this knowledge and they've set humanity free, or they've got access to it, or they're at least aware of it, and I've got proof they are aware of it because I've seen the symbols. You know.
Yeah.
So why are they not teaching this spiritual? And look where humanity's gone. I mean, look where the Manosphere's gone. It's everybody's all. It's not. They're not going up the ladder, am they? They're laughing at us on the board of chess. They're laughing at us.
But the crazy bitches.
Like
yes, like puppets. The crazy bitches. I know, but the crazy bitches have the men fighting each other. Like they keep causing a lot of these fights, and the men are too busy fighting one another to actually.
It's both sides. The women initiate it, and the men allow them. It's both sides. Takes two to tango. You can't have a baby if someone doesn't open their legs. You know.
Right. That's true. But a lot of the men don't see the Hegelian dialectic, what you said, the cause and effect. A lot of the men will get duped.
Exactly. So I'm bringing the evidence of the result of how the Manosphere has gone right now in front of our eyes. It's not gone better. It's gone worse. And that is my evidence. It's common sense. Pure observation and common sense. And I'm fortunate enough to come from the origins of MGTOW, to watch it birth and come into what it is now. You know, a lot of people I speak with haven't come from beyond me, they've come after me. So I've been trying to educate people. There's more to that. You jumping in the middle of the story. There's more to it. That's how you're talking about Miss Elite. There's a whole beginning to Miss Elite,
Oh yeah, I know.
And then when Mr. Elite messed up and started insulting children, and so I documented that as well on MGTOW TV. He lost his crap. He went into PUA. From MGTOW to PUA, he was a complete fraud. So in my opinion, it was all staged from the go. He was put in there, he was ushered in as a spokesman to push a certain narrative.
Well, what is PUA though? Like, what's your definition of PUA?
It's just like masonry. There's many different versions of it, right? But the most common one is basically just preying on weak men to try to get them accept modern standards. Because that they realise that men are fed up of it, they're checking out. So a lot of these little subculture groups rose one, to earn money out of it, and two, to manipulate men to get them back on to the plantation.
Mm.
And then I actually had a lot of people talk about PUAs, but I actually had a best friend who went into it for years. He's probably still in it now, but he's not. He got disillusioned with it, because he's spiritual like me. He's seen the signs, but he's still in that kind of. He wants female attention for whatever reason, but that's him,
Yeah.
And I witnessed him get backstabbed, to get thrown, just because the way he thought. He thought a bit differently. He wanted people to be a bit more healthier, a bit more caring of how they treated women instead of pumping and dumping. And they treated him like a bag of shit and ostracized him.
Yeah.
Claimed he was stealing all their work.
Yeah. But the witch hunts, quote unquote, like none of these group identities or none of these bubbles are special because it happens everywhere. Like every single place that I've traveled on the internet that there is kind of a group identity involved, like it's the same shit. And like the infighting's the same. People fucking
Yeah.
they do the crazy bitch patterns because most of them have crazy bitches involved in that community. So it's still the same.
there could be, I say, invested interests, and women love drama. So you put them two together.
Yeah. I mean, honestly,
Imagine
from all of my
imagine getting paid to cause drama.
Yes, that would be
that's a woman's dream. Most women's dream, anyway.
Well, I don't know
From
what I see what I see in the MGTOW space. It's actually a lot healthier than what I see go on in a lot of other bubbles on the internet. Like they at least try.
Not recently.
To be honest.
I'll disagree on that.
Yeah.
It used to be 4 or 5 years ago. Yeah, not now. Not now. Not now. I was getting disassociated it for a few years now, and then when they just decided to, friends that I spent years just decided, not our mutual. I wouldn't say mutual, but our acquaintance, other people, right? They turned their back on me. After years of working with them, the click of a finger, and
yeah, I keep seeing that happen.
All because of my beliefs. All because of my beliefs. And who else? Someone else getting attacked at the same time. There's another 2 people who was getting attacked at the same time as Contriver. I remember it was all in Shinobi's chat.
Yeah.
And then mine kicked off after that just finished. It literally carried on. Literally, as that just finished, then me and Absolute Knowledge started going at it. And that's when everybody started jumping on his side, and not one fucking person ever defended me apart from one who
Uh-oh. Amelia, you cut off.
Hello.
You cut off with who?
I just stopped. Who?
The last thing I heard you say was who. I think your internet's struggling.
Was it my internet struggling? Oh, sorry.
I think so.
No, basically, I'll repeat that I was in the stream, and not in the stream, in the server, Shinobi server, and Absolute Knowledge started going at me, and like while all the arguments of Contriver was going on, I was still, I was posting my, getting into the reading the Bible and my vegetable stuff and growing stuff, and then it started to become a more resentment to it. Like more people were starting to resent this stuff, and I was like, I'm just posting links. What's your bloody problem? Anyway, Absolute Knowledge starts attacking me, and it all stemmed because I think Brandon Trueblood started talking with him behind the scenes and saying, "Oh, you don't need this, a manly fella," and that's why a year and a half relationship of being on live streams with him just turned on me like that. A click. Someone said something to him, or he enacted his true feelings. But he
Yeah,
was
I don't know.
manipulated into it. If I guarantee, if Brandon never turned up, he probably might not have never turned on me.
Yeah. I don't know. I don't remember him when I first started my channel, and then all of a sudden he came up, and I feel like I inspired because I was invited to some channels, and then I went over there, and some guys gave me some wrenches to get rid of the crazy bitches because guys can't really. Because a lot of guys actually were kind of struggling with, oh, I can't tell, and I don't want to be labeled a misogynist for doing it. I was like, I'll fucking ban the bitches, So I did that, and then I think I
Why do they care?
saw.
Anyway,
I don't know. I mean, because a lot of these men are afraid, I think, to be as disciplinary as a lot of these crazy bitches deserve, and they'll sit and let them run their fucking mouth and try to participate because they want to try to talk to them, and they don't understand that these women literally want to kill them. Like they're not here to cooperate; they're here to combat.
Let me prove an example. You're a feminist.
Yeah. I'm a feminist.
You didn't react. Yeah.
How am I a feminist?
You didn't react any violently. You didn't react badly. You didn't go. You just calmly asked, "How?" That's my point. How? Why is this all happening? You just calmly asked, but everybody else is throwing the dummies out the pan when you do that. Like, you're going to call me a misogynist. The men. Oh, she's going to call me misogynist or a ban over it. So what?
Yeah. Well,
I just called you a feminist, and look what was the result? Nothing.
Yeah, I know.
Nothing.
Because I'm not. I would like to know anybody
so
who thinks
are
that
they secret misogynists? Yeah.
I don't think
misogynists.
I don't think men are capable of being a misogynist. I don't believe that men are biologically capable of misogyny unless they have been abused by women to a point where they actually hate them. And that takes a lot of abuse, I believe.
I would argue that we've all been taught to hate ourselves on one level or another. And this life experience, because of the world we're busted into, because it's not an ideal world.
Yes, because it's
we're
run
constantly
by
unraveling
lesbian,
the traumas
feminist,
all the time.
sex cult members.
Imagine being born into one of them.
The lesbian. Yes, no. Like a lot of us were born into an oppressive
most of them
society.
have a male priest that sleeps with them all.
Right. Unless they're the lesbians.
Oh, there is some of them, yeah. We talk about we was talking about the female Illuminati, wasn't we, in Discord? And the male Illuminati and what's the difference? And that's what it is. That's basically what it is. Feminism is basically the female Illuminati, the rising of the rising of the knowledge of Jacob's ladder to open the pineal gland to get your freedoms. You know?
Mm-hmm.
And then you got the man side, which is masonry, which is explaining exactly that.
Well, this guy was saying he wanted it to be all inclusive.
And masonry.
So. Yeah.
Yeah.
So feminists invaded
that's his
Masons.
opinion, you know. People are allowed to have their opinions, aren't they?
Yeah. But it still happened, didn't it?
It's still happening, isn't it?
Did feminism invade the Freemasons? Like they invaded every other fucking male space?
No, they worked together with them. You remember we mentioned the Fabian Society earlier on. They decided to work together.
Mm-hmm. I don't think that was a good idea.
Well, it was for them, because look where they are now. They're in total control.
Yeah.
It was a brilliant idea for them, not for us. It was for them.
Oh, I'm laughing too much and I have to go to the bathroom. I thought I had 2 hours in me, but I got an hour and a half before I had to pee.
Why don't you just play this until you come back then?
Okay, I'll do that. I'll be right back, Manly.
Yeah.
Okay.
in other words. Okay? The brain is not in a state of balance when we're in that modality of consciousness. The square inverted, okay, or turned upside down, okay, with the point upward, okay, not with the point downward as you see it in the compasses and square. That means that the compasses need to rule over our base instincts. When we turn it upside down like that, this is often the emblem that is granted to the master of the lodge, okay, in Freemasonry, because it is saying that if one has attained self-mastery, okay, or mastery over one's own base instincts, they rule over the square. They have turned that base instinct, okay, or animal-like instinct upside down. They have come up out of that mode of duality and just low consciousness, and they have ascended the middle pillar or Jacob's ladder. Okay, so wordplay all over this. Okay, not just with the columns. We saw it with the ionic pillar, the ion pillar. Okay, or you could even break it down further than that if you want to take it into, again, this is called green language. Okay, alchemical language, and you don't have to think that every single aspect of this is planned. This could be a form of synchromysticism, which we also talked about on the show in the past. If you just break down the word ionic, okay, you could break it down to I, then the word on, then I again, and the letter C. So I on, I see. Well, yeah, if the I is on, you will see. Okay, so this is word play. It's occult wordplay. This is called green language. Okay, and the reason it's called green language is because green is the color of balance. You won't see these things if you have an imbalanced brain. You'll only see these things if you can comprehend allegory. Okay, comprehension of allegory is really only begins to dawn on one in any kind of fullness when one has begun to balance the brain hemispheres.
So question, Amanley. He said green is the color of balance. I thought green also represented the color of envy, too. Your mic's off, by the way. Are you there? Hello?
Oh my God, I said all of that and then my mic was off.
Yeah.
Damn.
Green, envy. Green envy.
Yes.
Isn't it?
To me, personally, that sounds like some kind of satanic influence. Because to my knowledge, lights, colours are graded by the frequency of light they emit. And each wave of frequency affects the human brain differently and the human emotions differently. And I thought it was always affected from that. So I can't imagine how the green would promote envy. Because why would they paint doctors' waiting rooms green, and why would they call the actors' room the green room, where it's nice and calm and peaceful? Why would they paint that green? Because green is calming. So so that's my perception of why I think that sounds like a satanic inversion influence.
Yeah.
Or
I mean, because green is
a mean, or there's a meaning that I'm not aware of. One or the two.
Yeah, I think I like the other guy better that you sent me. What's his name? Michael
Saran. If you want to play some of this, go ahead.
Well,
these two go hand in hand. To be honest, it's just Mark Passiol's lost it recently, so I mean, I've even got angry. He hasn't lost it; he's got all the knowledge. It's all there. He's just very angry about it. Sarion, he's still doing it as well.
Well, because
In fact, Mark.
that whole
Sorry.
Manly, that whole video, I heard him say over and over and over, he's pointing to mothers, he's pointing to women in history.
Mhm. And I
Even when
agree,
he was
yeah.
talking about all the tyrants, all the bad men in history, he's like, yeah, but these guys are a product of who birthed them.
But yeah, well, you know the Masonic symbol with the G in the middle?
No, I don't.
Are you aware of that conspiracy?
No.
Well, go put in Google the Masonic symbol and G,
Okay.
and it'll just come up. It'll come up straight away. It'll be like a square, a compass, and a G.
Okay, I see that. Let's put that up here.
Well, the square and compass, its esoteric meaning, actually means the matrix. It's the womb. It's the
This here?
ability to give life. That's what it actually means. In its yep. And in its origin esoteric form, it means the ability to give life, to convey life, to give life. It's the female womb.
So are you saying the Masons worshipped motherhood?
Well, it's in them. I'm not
revered
saying
motherhood?
that. I'm saying that's what the symbolism is.
Okay. So are you saying women gave birth to Freemasonry?
I didn't say that. That's what you're saying, you little polka.
Women birthed society? No, this other guy, I
Well,
really
what
like
come
him.
first, the
I
chicken
mean,
or the egg? Do you want to have this conversation, the chicken or the egg? The Adam,
well,
the
if you
Genesis,
believe
which
in evolution,
originally said that I was going to start the stream up. I was going to start the stream off from. I was going to cite out
a
Genesis
Bible
2.
verse. Yeah. Do you want to do that?
Because it is basically we can read it out now if you like, but it's basically
Yeah,
I just
let's hear
wanted to state out that the original meaning of humanity was to unite and be fruitful. So I just wanted to solidify that in people's mind, and that was our original goal. And we should never ever take that out of our mind. We should always keep that in our mind that was our original goal, was to unite and be fruitful. So let me
that's
get
the
this.
that's the natural way of doing things. But if
Mhm.
feminism hadn't
Conversion,
fucked
yeah.
up everything, that's the way things would be. Women in our in our society are mismanaging their responsibilities to society.
Hang on.
Okay.
Oh no, I thought I found a video version of it who sounds better than me, than some people. Some guy with throat problems trying to talk. And let's have a look. Hang on, I think I found one. It's only 3 minutes long, so
Oh, another video?
yeah, it saves you all listening to my little voice. Oh, I've just sent you the picture. 1 second. Let me send you the thing. Hopefully, he's got a better voice than me. So, my voice is not feeling too good today either. So, my throat, as you can tell, it's not feeling very good today. So,
All right, let's hear this. Paste. Sorry, I'm technologically fucking retarded, so it takes me a minute to sort this stuff out.
Chapter 2. Thus the heavens and the earth were finished, and all the host of them. And on the seventh day God ended his work which he had made, and he rested on the seventh day from all his work which he had made. And God blessed the seventh day, and sanctified it, because that in it he had rested from all his work which God created and made. These are the generations of the heavens and of the earth when they were created, in the day that the Lord God made the earth and the heavens, and every plant of the field before it was in the earth, and every herb of the field before it grew. For the Lord God had not caused it to rain upon the earth, and there was not a man to till the ground. But there went up a mist from the earth, and watered the whole face of the ground. And the Lord God formed man of the dust of the ground, and breathed into his nostrils the breath of life, and man became a living soul. And the Lord God planted a garden eastward in Eden, and there he put the man whom he had formed. And out of the ground made the Lord God to grow every tree that is pleasant to the sight, and good for food, the tree of life also in the midst of the garden, and the tree of knowledge of good and evil. And a river went out of Eden to water the garden, and from thence it was parted and became into 4 heads. The name of the first is Pison. That is it which compasseth the whole land of Havilah, where there is gold. And the gold of that land is good. There is bdellium and the onyx stone. And the name of the second river is Gihon. The same is it that compasseth the whole land of Ethiopia. And the name of the third river is Hiddekel. That is it which goeth toward the east of Assyria. And the fourth river is Euphrates. And the Lord God took the man, and put him in the garden of Eden to dress it and to keep it. And the Lord God commanded the man, saying, Of every tree of the garden thou mayest freely eat, but of the tree of the knowledge of good and evil thou shalt not eat of it, for in the day that thou eatest thereof thou shalt surely die. And the Lord God said, It is not good that the man should be alone. I will make him an helpmeet for him. And out of the ground the Lord God formed every beast of the field, and every fowl of the air, and brought them unto Adam, to see what he would call them. And whatsoever Adam called every living creature, that was the name thereof. And Adam gave names to all cattle, and to the fowl of the air, and to every beast of the field. But for Adam there was not found an helpmeet for him. And the Lord God caused a deep sleep to fall upon Adam, and he slept. And he took one of his ribs, and closed up the flesh instead thereof. And the rib which the Lord God had taken from man made he a woman, and brought her unto the man. And Adam said, This is now bone of my bones, and flesh of my flesh. She shall be called woman, because she was taken out of man. Therefore shall a man leave his father and his mother, and shall cleave unto his wife, and they shall be one flesh. And they were both naked, the man and his wife, and were not ashamed.
That last ending,
Well,
that last line there, was a kicker.
and they shall not be ashamed.
Yep, they should be together as one, naked and not ashamed. The emperor wears no clothes.
Mm.
It's the reason why most relationships today don't work out, because everybody lies and has secret agendas. No one is ever honest with themselves, let alone with a partner.
Yeah. Well, and from what I recall from that story,
The old goal.
the snake gave Eve the feminist apple, and it angered the Lord. That's what I remember. Right? Because
The apple's
technically
not feminist, or the apple do, or the apple's not a feminist icon. I mean, they use it, but what the apple actually represents, it's the tree of life. The apple represents the tree of knowledge.
Yeah.
And the tree of life as well, because you take the bite out the tree of life, and what does it? Rots and dies, you know.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, the feminists use it though. Boy. Manly. Why do the feminists use it?
It's red apples, red lips, blushing, on heat, it's red.
Uh-huh.
They don't use green apples, do they? Do they use green apples? I haven't seen anyone use a green apple. It's always red.
No.
The sweet apple, never the healthy sour bitter one.
But that's the key to how feminism.
Because the color means
propagate.
something. It's symbolism.
Oh, I don't know. I don't know much about symbolism. I just know what the feminists do, and they offer these young women this knowledge, and that's how they lure them into their lesbian sex cult. And the snake is another feminist. So I have a theory, and I know you might disagree, but I don't believe.
If you think about it,
Emily, hold on. I don't believe
if the Masonic order's been here.
I think I'm delayed. Can you hear me okay?
There's a bit of a
Where's my-
delay. I think.
Okay, that's what I thought. Hold on, let me tell you my theory, and you tell me what you think of this.
Go ahead and I'll respond once you're finished.
Okay. Women can only be manipulated emotionally and mentally by other women. I know the feminists like to claim that, especially in the psychology field, when they're breaking, they're splitting crazy bitch hairs, that they're trying to say narcissists are manipulative and all the things. And I know a lot of women in society will blame men for emotionally manipulating them, but I don't believe that that's true. I believe the only people that can actually emotionally and mentally manipulate a woman is another woman. That's where the feminism comes in, because that's how they get the young Eves into the sex cult. What do you think about that?
I disagree. I politely disagree.
Okay.
I think they've been made to think that way. There's been hidden forces manipulating through media, through culture. Ever since radio and TV started, there's been a massive assault on the human consciousness.
Mm-hmm.
And they've been edging and scraping away of all our moral values and our feminist and masculine values, which interesting knowledge that masculinity actually esoteric means just to be of use. So you just got to be a useful person and you're masculine. But anyway, yeah. So now I think there's a lot of hidden occults, hidden agendas, the Zionist Jews, just for one of them, holding all places in America. You've got BlackRock, you've got Vanguard, you've got all these people, the Rockefellers, the Rothschilds, influencing all these medias, right? So how do men and women think the way they do? Why do they think the way they do? How is it put onto us? And I think that's how it is. From birth, we're not assaulted by women and we're not assaulted by men. We're assaulted by occult propaganda by both women and men, working together to control humanity. The Hegelian dialectic. So you create the occults created feminism so they could create the resistance, which is red pill. So they could rise people like Andrew Tate, whose father used to work in the military. So there's links there to, anybody with militaries, anybody who's worked for the military. I'm sorry to say, you're questionable, because the facts are there that infiltrators has a very, very high link to friends and family members within the military, or almost all of them. It's just the way it is. Don't shoot the messenger.
Yeah.
If you want proof of this, I would advise you to go check a guy called Mark Devlin out. He's a British old radio host, and he basically got ostracized from society, but talking about COVID, as you do. So, as you do.
This mother medical tyranny. Yeah, I recall that whole fucking thing. Actually, PBD podcast, which is hands down the best podcast ever. He posted something about, because Elon Musk is calling for the prosecution of.
Is there like a 10-second delay here or something?
I think you're delayed or something. I don't know why you're delayed. But no, remember the COVID lockdown stuff? Like, I clearly remember things were fine until that Dr. Bricks joined Fauci. And then shit started locking down. I specifically remember that. I specifically remember that it was a woman who let the fucking the virus leak from the lab. That was covered up because we need, quote unquote, more women in STEM, right? Because every time a woman messes up, men fucking get blamed for it. So I'm sure Manly will be back. I think he's having technical difficulties. You there?
Check 1, 2.
Yeah, you sound good.
There was about a 15-second delay. That was painful.
Yeah. So you missed my rant?
Yeah, I did. I missed your little rant. Yeah.
That's fine.
You actually
I
started
just
off
blame
on it,
feminists.
and then I've refreshed.
Yeah,
Sorry.
that's good.
I just
That's
couldn't. I couldn't. It was 15 minutes, 15 seconds late. I couldn't stand it.
No, I get it. But yeah, actually, something you just said, masculinity originally
Yeah, so
being
I'm happy that we
meaning of
actually
use.
played that Bible verse. It's definitely good to remind us. Again, I'm repeating myself to where we're meant to go.
Yeah. Well, that's the how things should be, but they're not because of feminism. I think, Manly, your internet's struggling again.
Check 1, 2. God, this connection's gone crap.
Can you hear me?
Are you cut out at feminism? You cut out at feminism.
Feminism. Can you hear me okay?
Yeah, you just cut off and you went in the little spinning loading wheel.
Okay. But it's good now?
Just a bit of a delay.
Okay. Now, something you said about masculinity originally being
We'd have to try and work around
of
the
use?
delay. Of what?
You said masculinity originally meant...
Yes, the actual etymology of masculinity, this Greek prefix, is to be of use.
Okay.
No, its original meaning means to be of use. And so a masculine is a mask is like a man to be of use. But what makes a man? Someone of use.
Yeah. So the feminists saying they don't need men further abuses men in society. Right?
And and they want, instead of being a mother, they instead want to be of use to society. And so that's why they adopt masculine properties.
Yes.
So they can be of use.
Yeah, but the toxic masculinity
the prison
form.
planet that we're living in right now, which I don't get.
Yes.
That's another subject altogether.
Yeah. No, it's the same subject.
The slave,
it's the same thing.
Was it learned helplessness that you mentioned? Yeah.
Yeah.
It is, yes.
Yeah.
Learned helplessness, yeah.
Yeah. Should I share that video you sent me earlier, Michael?
So was there a clip of Michael Sarian that you was interested in sharing?
Well, no, because it was over an hour thing that I listened to.
Oh, I apologise. I thought Michael, if you like. I assumed you already had one prepared.
No, I just had a Blood of Zeus clip and another Richard
once you got through the woman,
clip.
It was compelling, wasn't it?
Yes, it was. It was great. I loved it. Now, because he kept saying all the same things I've been saying for years.
Oh, yes, you did. You play them if you like.
Yeah? Okay. Yeah, I think you're still delayed.
I think it's possibly why there's an extra vendetta against you. That's just my opinion. I don't know.
Oh, what? Because I'm telling the truth about women? And debunking the fucking lies they've been feeding to society for fucking decades?
Well, that's what the manosphere don't want. They don't want the true knowledge of, you know, that stuff that Michael Sarve on. And then if you saying you've been saying the same stuff, they don't want that knowledge in the manosphere. They don't want it. They're not interested in it.
But it's not the manosphere that's had a
They
problem
want to
with
grow
me.
their own foods, but they don't know what's the best to grow for health-wise.
Yeah.
They just want to grow and live off the land and survive. They don't want to rise above base consciousness.
I'm
You
trying
can
to find
speak for
that video.
yourself, you know. You
Yeah.
can speak for yourself. I'm just assuming from my point of view.
Yeah. No, it's not the manosphere, quote unquote, that I have noticed that has a problem with me. It's only
And there's a lot of
emotionally.
manipulation. There's a lot of manipulation going on, as we know as well, behind the scenes.
Yes, no, there is. I see it. I think we're not linking up conversation-wise, though. I think you still have another delay. I can't find this video.
Yeah, I think we might have to start. Yeah, we do. I think we're gonna have to start winding it down a bit now. But it's been interesting. It's been interesting. And I don't wind it down because I want to leave. It's just this is getting way too annoying. So,
Yes, it is. No, I agree. I appreciate you, though, taking the time.
let me try one more
This
thing.
has been yeah.
It says I'm showing
Go
my.
ahead.
It says I'm showing my camera, but I haven't even got a I don't even have a camera.
Your internet sucks, Manly.
I appreciate you inviting me. You're the first person who's invited me on a stream for about 1.5 years, 2 years. So I appreciate that. Minus TNFS. Sorry, I apologise to TNFS. I forgot about him. I forgot about TNFS. I'm sorry about that, man. He was, you know, I as I said, I gave him the time of day, and we've bonded because we've gave each other time and appreciation. We gave each other patience.
Yeah.
And he gave me an opportunity on his stream, and you really enjoyed that chat. So
it was good.
You know, hopefully this kind of peace reconciliation can keep spreading. You know, instead of people falling out all the time, maybe people start coming together all the time instead. You know, show the opposite. So hopefully, you know, this could be the start of that. Wishful thinking, I know, but you never know.
Yeah.
No, we're not exactly seeing eye to eye. We may never ever see eye to eye, but we're definitely walking on adjacent paths and walk happily, converge when needed. As long as either of us are not assholes.
Yeah. Well, I won't be an asshole. And as long as you still
the delay is about 10 seconds now.
Is it? Okay. Yeah, let's wrap this up. I still want to share another 2 clips, though, before I end this stream.
Wow.
Because I think... Huh?
The delay, man.
Yeah, is it bad? Okay. Well, let's end our conversation.
Go ahead. We'll see if it rectifies.
Okay. All right. I will share these clips then. Because I think
when
this
it's
is...
done. See if the edit your clip.
Okay. Now, I think this is really important because there's a lot of talk about narcissism. And listening to Billy's stream last night was definitely a layer of the onion being peeled for sure. But it's not the whole story. I think it's just part of the story. But yeah, I'm gonna play this.
I'm yet to see that, you know. I'll do my own thing and I'll just stumble across it.
We can simplify it. So the second part of the question to can somebody with MPD change is, do I have hope? So I can answer that, but I can't make you hear me. I don't want to force anybody. So I don't want to make anybody do anything. But if you're going to sit there and you're going to be like, I want to know, I'm ready for the truth, and then I tell you what the truth is, and you go mad, and you're all over Quora and Reddit saying Richard Grannon is a monster. He's a psycho. I always knew he was. He tried to help me, the madman. He tried to give me truth, the monster. Simplify. Simplify, simplify. Is there any hope? Okay. Let's not use the jargon. Let's not use the words. Is the human in front of me kind? The person you're thinking of, that you want to know whether you have hope for or not, are they kind to you? So your brain will split and it'll go, he loves his dogs. Oh, she loves her daughters. They're kind to you. Have you ever seen them ever take on a piece of negative feedback, think about it, consider it, and then make a change because of it? Ever? If the answer is no, my friends, I know it hurts, but then you're not in a very hopeful situation, are you? Because you're self-selected. I didn't summon you here, and if you're watching in the afterwards, nobody made you watch this video. You're looking for videos about narcissistic abuse. So don't get mad at me. You're here because you're saying you're with somebody who might have a psychiatric, clinically diagnosable condition that makes them operate in a way that is frankly obnoxious, cruel, and consistently abusive on a daily basis, identified with an obsession with how amazing they are or how victimized they are and how the world hates them, and that's why they're a loser, because everybody steals their ideas from them, blah, blah, and so on. And that they're entitled to special treatment. You're saying that. Okay. So you're here because of that. And now you're saying, can they change? And I would just say, have you seen them change? Could have gone higher pitch then. Have you seen them change? Have you seen them change? Ever? Has anybody ever got through to them and they've gone, yeah, fucking hell, I probably shouldn't do that. I have friends who are highly narcissistic. But you can still say to them, like, mate, you know, when you said this and then you went and did that, it's not really working out for you, that, is it? And they'll be like, no, not really. That's not MPD. MPD won't even have that conversation. If they sense that you're leading to that conversation where negative feedback could come through about them, about their behavior, then they'll go into game. Then they'll get the Brazilian jiu-jitsu out. Then they'll start setting you up for a heel hook or something. You're not in a conversation anymore. You're now in a manipulation. You're gonna, waiting for the moment. Like, they're gonna do something. You can feel it. You're not stupid. Are you in a normal conversation with a person who wants to listen to you? No, I'm not. Okay, well, the prognosis isn't great, is it? And I think you can look at this, if you want more common sense advice, over a period of time. How many times and over how long did you ask them to stop doing the thing that you don't like? How many arguments did you have about them simply stopping doing a thing that they don't need to do and you don't like them doing, but they keep doing it?
Yeah.
Is it more
Honesty
than
and
5 times?
Not enough of that. Honesty and honor. There's not enough of that.
Yeah. No, but I think that's a really good metric to gauge whether somebody's an actual narcissist or not. How they take negative feedback. And then change.
It also depends on what setting, because, you know, it's like a joke. There's timing does account for the impact of the message, you know. So if you're just attacking someone with truth when they're already down, you're kicking them when they're down, aren't you?
Yeah.
It's all about timing, you know. You got to be empathetic about it. You can't just be an asshole because you decide now's the time to tell them. You know, you got to get in their head and decide when it's the right time, when they think they're receptive to it. You know, it's there's a yin yang to the situation. You know, there's a give and a take. You know, you understand if you're a narcissist or for whatever reason, or whatever label you want anybody wants to put on them, there's trauma involved. So they're not operating on a normal level. So there has to be, if you want to help heal them, some give way. But you know, we're in a world today now where people want to help all these narcissists, and they're in a narcissistic environment.
Yes.
And so them pissing in the wind.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah. Is there still a delay, Emmanuel?
No.
Oh, it's fixed?
Quite fun, right? Yeah.
Okay, good.
It's fixed.
Good.
Is there any more of this talk on the show? Because I've got, you know, he's hitting now some nails on the head. He is, Richard.
Yeah, you want to continue?
Yeah, why not?
Okay.
Over longer than 3 months, because people like concrete measures. I've got bad news for you. That's not
He's got
good.
a delay
now.
now.
I can't sit here and say that I know everybody's unique case and everybody's unique condition. Nobody can. But as a rule of thumb, that ain't good. Why 3 months? Because anybody can be a dick for a month or two. And you have to figure this out. Like if the person's grieving for a parent that they were close to, or they've overcome or they're in the middle of a battle with an illness, or they've had issues with drugs, or they've had issues with alcohol, or they just got divorced, or they just got fired. Anybody can be a dick for a period of time when they're under stress. 3 months is a lot of leeway. It's a lot of leeway. 5 times. Why 5? Why not 6? Why not 4? It's an arbitrary number. You need cutoff points. You need boundaries. 5 is good. Why are you doing the thing the 6th time that I've told you 5 times I don't want you to do? Why is it still happening? Because at that point in the relationship, and you could say, well, you can't tell your girlfriend what to do. No. So let me explain something to you about 2 human beings living together. The first time I say to you,
as well.
let's keep it safe.
Yeah, it's my son's cat.
How weird is both our cats go up to each other at the same time? That's weird.
Yeah. No, it's funny because, you know, like she's named after a Pokemon. So you could totally tell a 7-year-old named her. Yeah, her name's Oshawott. She thinks she's mine.
It's a unique name. So
yeah.
I'll give you that.
Nobody can get it right. One of my clients calls her Oscar Bot all the time. It's funny. Nobody gets it right. Oscar Bot. Yeah. I mean, that's cute too, but But yeah, I think that's a good metric to gauge whether, because I don't know, I'm so upset with the psychology field as a whole. I mean, a lot of what I see them, like professionals in the field, call a mental disorder or a pathology is literally context specific and can be actually healthy boundaries against crazy bitches. So I know the psychology field has been covering up the feminist crimes against humanity for a long time. So I don't really trust like professionals in the field. That's why I like Richard, because he's outside of it. He seems to have an idea of what's going on. He's as equally, he's also been debunking
you've obviously got his counterpart that, you know, you can't really talk about psychology really authentically without saying that his name is Sam Vaknin, you know.
Yeah.
Which I don't 100% agree with his methods, but you know, he's an expert in his field. You got to listen to experts in your field. and you got to
Yeah.
listen to stuff you don't like,
Yeah.
But
I don't know. I see the
I
two
feel
men
like
as
it's pushing
kind
the
of.
socialist. Sorry, carry on.
Oh, I see the two men as like having their own lane. I feel like Sam is doing what he can inside the institutional
Yes,
community, and Richard is kind of like
yeah.
Mr. External Pressure that can really fucking
Yeah,
help sort
he's
that
on
out.
he's on our level and he's on the academic level, so that's why I'm saying he's probably socialist, because Sam Batten's probably talking to them, is on their level,
Yeah.
talking, which that's my opinion and how I see it. He's more on. Plus, anybody who likes David Icke is right in my field.
Yeah, David Icke.
Good old David Icke, yeah.
I've
But,
only seen him in conversation with Richard. I've never listened to anything he had to say outside of that.
Oh yes, he's very outspoken about the evils in the world. Put it that way.
Is he? Good.
Yes, names
good.
and shames as well. And there's it's that bad. Everybody, it's been going around for years that why hasn't he been topped off already? Because he's part of them. That's been part of the Hegelian dialect to lead us down the wrong avenue. Because if you read his book Indigo, it's been pointed out that he's actually into the I Am New Age movement.
What's that?
Oh, now you're firing off. Let me I'd have to get the page off and show you. But I've actually covered all this on my channel, so I've gone through it all. I can't remember any of it.
Honestly, Manly, I have to
it's-
say, I don't watch much of your content because I'm drawn to conversations between
don't worry,
people.
not many people do. It's cool.
Well, me personally, I like to listen to people in like real-time conversation. So if you had streams on there where you like hosted conversations, I would have totally checked that out. But that's why I liked your chat with TNFS so much, because I was like, okay.
Yeah, nobody invites me on anymore, Bab. Oh, Lizzie Delay again now by the sounds of it.
Uh-oh. Well, should we wrap this up? We're in it 2 hours.
Yeah, I think it's been an eventful chat. Yeah,
Okay.
so anybody who was expecting any naming and shaming, that's not what I am about. That's not what this stream's about. At the end of the day, even if we do think they're doing things, they are humans at the end of the day. And I'm a human and I want to respect them, whether they respect us or not. Live by example. So, if the timing's right, I'll present the information and I'll do it in a way where I believe the timing's right and it has to be done. Not because I want to upset people. A lot of these people I'm going to expose, I actually highly respect. Like, really, like some of them are good people. They've treated me with respect. I do suspect some double dealing, but I got no proof of that. So I can't hold on to that. So I got to treat them like gentlemen. And that's why, because they're human beings. And I'm not like these other content creators that name and shame it, look at this, and create drama. I want facts. I want to enlighten people to see it for themselves. I don't want to create drama. I can say my two piece about the drama. I'll try my best not to create any more than I already have.
Yeah. That might be why your channel doesn't grow, because drama sells, right? People that are into the drama are going to pay attention to the drama.
That is one side of the coin. But honestly, to be honest, I'm a very disagreeable person. I'm always debunking people's ideas, and I'm very strongly opinionated. So, you believe this, and you're telling me this is how I should think. I'm going to go look into that and see if it's authentic. If I find out you're selling me some bullshit and you haven't researched it, I'm going to be angry at you.
Yeah.
It's your responsibility to know what you're fucking talking about. Yeah. So that's where I am at with everybody, and that's what my channel's about. So when I make a video or say something, it upsets a lot of people, and it upsets the people that agree with that same narrative. So over time, what you find is you get an audience of people who actually want to listen, and like what I call the free range fucktards filter off, and you get the people who are actually interested in the truth, and you get this kind of small solid community, over time. But it takes a long time because there's so much fuckery about.
Yeah, there's a lot of fuckery. I try to keep it off my channel. Like, I don't know. I don't. I have a very specific lane, and crazy bitchery, I'm allergic to it. So what pisses me off the most is watching these crazy bitches get these men to fight, and then the men are fighting like in front of me. Like, people, I think it's taken a lot of time, and even today, people still don't fucking understand that my channel is not a place for men to sort out men. Like, this isn't a male combat area. Like, I try to promote a spirit of cooperation, and I try to engage in conversation, and I welcome any conversation that wants to be on topic, because the crazy bitchery derails every fucking stream. And that's why I don't even want to do this fucking channel anymore, because people have a hard time respecting the space that they're in. A lot of people forget that their little vendettas and whatnot in the manosphere, which I'm not a fucking part of, don't belong on my fucking channel. That's not what my channel's about. Like, I want to conversate with people about life and what happens and ideas, and I have questions about why people fall for crazy bitchery.
We didn't talk about forgiveness, did we?
We didn't talk about what?
Forgiveness?
No, we didn't.
No, we had a good little talk about forgiveness.
So I was so disappointed, Amanli.
I know you thing.
I know you didn't watch Blood of Zeus, but I just finished season 2, and the whole thing was about forgiveness. In the last episode,
I got through the first episode.
Failed.
I forced myself through the first episode.
Yeah. I know.
I did. I got through. There is talking in it. Wow.
Yeah, no, it's really good. You need to watch the rest. And I think why I love it so much is because it's almost like it's been a part of my family tradition that me and my son kind of started. I mean, he's been into anime since he was like 3 or 4. So we sit down and we'll watch anime, and I think the conversations. Yeah, no, it's fine. But the conversations that take part during the anime, I think, is what I like the most about it. It's like the discussions about characters, and I don't know. I see it as kind of character education.
Cannot disagree.
Yeah. Some people love it, some people don't.
Oh, hang on. I've seen. Hang on 1 second. I think I need a good. That's better.
People,
thank you. Yes.
Listen.
I've seen a lot of good moral messages, and in fact, I forgot to say this. The thing that sent me like towards nature and how a kind person as a child was sort of an anime kind of thing. It was when the CGI was starting to become a thing. The Final Fantasy film.
Yes.
The actual film, Final Fantasy.
Yes.
It was out in cinema. Well, there's a notion in that where that the Earth is its own life, has its own spirit. It thinks and feels just like we do.
Really?
And when I watched that, something just as a child, I was watching this instantly, and it just resonated with me. And it's never left me ever till this day. That kind of. We all come from the earth, and we're all gonna go back into it.
Yeah. Sorry, I'm shutting the chat down.
Oh, is it gone haywire?
People just don't fucking listen. They don't. People that have been here the entire time still want to argue with other people in the chat. So instead of banning and blocking people, just shut it down. So, fuck it. That's why I don't want to even do this channel anymore. People can't fucking respect this space. So I started a new channel.
And they're all coming out. They're all coming out the little dark caves to start insulting shaming tactics like a feminist.
Well, they
Eh? Like a woman, like a big fucking woman who can't say it to my face. Fucking pussies.
no, they're
Calling
arguing
me
with each other.
unmanly. Come and
But
say
the
it
thing
to me in
is,
the DM then. Let's chat then. Come on then, little fucking pussy.
but a manly,
Unreal. These
a
people
manly,
are
a
cowards. They're
manly.
all fucking cowards. For years I've been calling these out for debate. For years, look at them. They're pussies, all of them.
Okay, a manly. That's
Fuck
exactly
off.
what they want.
You can't even debate a story boy, you fucking dickheads. Yeah.
That's the point, right there.
It's not me. They're too coward to debate me. It's not the other way around. I don't mind.
Well,
I've invited everybody on my channel and they've gone, nope. Ignored me.
do you
so
do
they want
live
to go on
streams?
someone else's channel to insult me. How fucking
Yeah.
cowardly is that? Can't they come on my channel? Can't they come on my channel and tell me? No, you're a fucking coward. You're a pussy. You're a little fucking girl. Go
Well,
off to your little fucking pussy club and jack yourselves off in your little circle jerk.
yeah, it's girly because it's toxically female. Remember? Men can't be aggressive towards other men online without resulting to toxically feminine tactics.
Yeah. Can you believe? Oh, sorry, Can. Can you believe that was me on level 1 out of 10 of rant mode? That was me on level 1.
I believe you.
So.
I believe you.
That was a controlled rant. These men are not men. They come on other people's channel to insult me. I've been here all this time, you pussy.
Well, are you going to have live streams? Do you have live streams?
Me? No, I don't do lives. I do pre-recordings. And I don't edit them. I release them as recorded.
How are people?
But I haven't done that for a while because I don't trust anybody. As you can see in the chat, that the problem is that they've owned it. They've been thinking this for about 1.5 years, 2 years, yeah. And they're only coming out of it now because you've gave me a platform. They've silenced me, so they didn't have to do this. Now I'm another target, just like Billy. Proving me and mine and Billy's point, which is Billy's originally. Proving it. They are stupid. How can they fall for every trap? Just common sense. Behave like a man, not a little kid throwing your dummies out on the playground.
Yeah.
Throwing insults. Talk to me like a man. Hey, I'm manly. I don't agree with what you said. Okay, fair enough. But now you're there acting like a 6-year-old girl. You're acting worse than my young niece who throws a tantrum. That's how bad you're acting like in chat. Do you have no self-reflection? Any of you? What is wrong with you? Grow the fuck up. Talk to me like a man and a human, and I might actually respect you back. Okay? What the fuck is wrong with you? Who would have thought I'd be talking to like this towards the manosphere? Unreal, man. Clown world.
Well, here's a Manly's channel. He has one. If anybody has any problems with a Manly, you can take it to... Oh, I can't put it in the chat.
Yeah.
Because I closed it.
All your hate comments on there. I haven't turned my comments off. I've never turned my comments off. And you can see the cowardice for yourself. The manosphere, them all chat attacking me on chat, and they've said nothing on my channel ever. You see, you can see the cowardice for yourself.
I did tag you in the title, so they can go to your channel from that tag.
Thank you. Thank you, good man. Thank you for hosting me, and thank you for bearing my little rant mode there. And that's why I said to TNFS, I don't want to see it address any comments until after the subject is addressed.
Yeah.
And this is why.
Yeah.
Because I cannot stand kids throwing tantrums.
Yeah, me neither.
Good mother cannot stand feminists.
Yeah.
You have created this union. You dumb cunt. Someone needs to tell them. No one's telling them. Well, Billy's trying to, but I think he's too nice about it. I think he's really too nice about it. He's still being too nice about it. Some of them needs to go and tell them how much of an evil, selfish, childish, immature prick they really fucking are. Because they are. And then they'll be hung up and put on the wall of fucking shame. Until they grow up. And then you can get your name removed.
Like my crazy bitch list?
Yes.
What?
We'll create our own socialism to stop socialism.
You know I have the same thing. You know I have a crazy bitch list, right?
Do you?
I do. On my channel, I have a list of channels of women that I have seen in real time do all the terrible things. They fucking bastardize and molest psychology terminology to try to shame, and guilt men while they're fucking trying to emotionally and psychologically abuse men online. Like, all these feminists are man hate. Like, they meet a specific criteria. That's why they make my crazy bitch list, because I see it happen in real time. And they fucking spurg as soon as I call them out for it. So they make my crazy bitch list, which is a list of channels that are fucking cursed until the end of time, until they change their crazy bitch behavior. So that's what the crazy bitch list is all about. And none of the crazy cunts have ever made it off the list, and I don't believe any of them will, because I think maybe they are, going back to what Richard was saying, I think they're like maybe have some true like narcissistic personality disorder type stuff going on. So
I think there's. I think it's a bit more intricate and deliberate than that, don't I? As we discussed earlier, that there's set plans for social engineering, and they've conditioned all these men to be puppets to puppet their ideals and ostracize anybody else that thinks differently.
Well, the witch hunt.
I'm gonna like I bet you TNFS is gonna get the same bullshit, because I'm gonna go back on his channel and do the same stuff that I do with you, and like I do with him. I'm treating everybody like a human being, and he's gonna get the same shit as well.
Well, he's the first one I blocked personally in my chat.
Yeah, that business is between you two. Okay.
Yes.
Yeah, I don't want to bring that up. I'm happy with what I've got with both of you right now. If you two want to sort your things out, you both can. Right? I said I believe you should have a talk, but that's it.
Yes.
I've left it at that. I've left it at that. I'm not getting involved in it.
Yeah. Well, I did too. People in the chat today that were going after each other. So
I don't know. I'll go after all of the manosphere on my own. I'm a one-man army. I don't give a fuck.
You can very much do that on your channel. And I did share your channel.
I'm not against the manosphere. I'm against the men in it. I want the manosphere to what it used to be. I'm like Mark Passio. Even though I believe it was rigged from the start, still the ideals at the start was good, just like Masonry. Promoting the spiritual goals, the spiritual awareness of man, and getting into the health. I want it to go back to those roots. I don't need angry little pathetic foaming from the mouth men triggering other good men to foam from the mouth at them for foaming at the mouth,
Yeah, that part needs to be sorted out. But that's man's work. That's why I want no part of it on my channel. Like, I don't mind people venting a little bit. But
you've got all these people that are head of MGTOW who I respect, and they're allowing it to happen. And I'm sorry, guys, I respect you, and I like some of your knowledge, but you are allowing this to happen. You have the control. You have the influence, not me. You. And you are allowing it, and in some cases, propagating it without even any research. And that's because I think you have an agenda. And if you don't have an agenda, then maybe people should start researching things before they come out and support fraudulent notions and fake claims, you know.
yeah. Well, I know a lot of the big creators are really busy, so they don't pay attention to a lot of the
A lot of the big
fucking-
creators are probably visiting the lodges at the weekend as well.
back to the Masons.
Mhm.
Well, Amanli, I have to pee again. I really appreciate this conversation.
Yes, yes, and you know what, I've got a car. I'm gonna have to leave it here because obviously I'm a bit not totally rolled up. I'm calming down now because you know it's good chatting with you, but I've got to go to sleep soon, so I'd like to just to relax and listen to some 432 hertz spiritual music, spiritual dubstep. I'm not what is it called? It's what's it called? Lo-fi. It's called lo-fi. I listen to some lo-fi music, to wind down, and it drowns out the tinnitus, so it gets me to sleep nice.
Well, do you have any closing remarks for?
Trust no one and be yourself. Always research what you're told, and always research what you believe, and always be willing to change. Thank you, good mother, for inviting me to the stream. And thank you for respecting my wishes. I appreciate it.
Yes, you're very welcome. Thanks for joining me for this conversation.
Yep. And thank you for anyone in the chat. I haven't seen any comments apart from that little snippet. But if anybody's kept the peace and stayed civil, you have my appreciation. We need more of that around. So thank you.
Yeah. There were quite a few that were, and there were a few that just don't fucking listen and respect other people's spaces. So, all right.
Well, you know what? The Manosphere has had over 5 years to invite me on their panels, and they haven't. And they're coming over here and spurg at you. They should be spurging at their creators for not having me on.
Oh, they usually don't spurg at me. They usually spurg at the men that I'm conversating with and the other men that are in the chat, just trying to take part in the discussion. So,
well, I'm happy to take them on because I can talk. I can beat children at any mental game. So,
okay, all right. You ready to end this?
I know, metaphorically, I'm just messing around. But thank you for inviting me.
You're welcome.
Really do not know how much I appreciate that. Not a lot of people do. So thank you.
Yeah. No, you're very welcome. We'll have to do it again later on down the road.
Yes. When I've got more stability in my personal life, I'd like to give a more better version of myself to the public. So that'll be great. That'll be a great ideal.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Just keep me posted. All right. I'm going to end this stream right now.
Yep.
Thanks everybody in the chat that was an adult and didn't
And the answer was both feminism and masonry.
I know, right? Because feminism infiltrated the Masons, come to find out.
No. You're getting it mixed up. They started working together. Remember the Faber Society?
Yes.
They didn't infiltrate. They started working together.
Yeah, but whose idea was that?
I think it was 6 elitists, and one of them was a feminist. Yeah, you just Google it. Just go to Google, everybody, and go, who started the Fabian Society? And eat your hearts out. Yep. And that was basically the bridge between first wave and second wave feminism. Because if you notice, like first wave was in the 1800s or something, late 1800s, I think, was it? Right, and then the next one was in 1980 or something like that. So there was a massive gap between first and second wave. So what happened in between then? The Fabian Society.
The lesbian sex cult gained ground and infiltrated every fucking university.
all cults gain ground because they all teamed up to work together.
Oh.
That's why it's a 360 attack on humanity in all directions.
Mm.
Leave no corner unturned.
Mm. I've been trying. I've been trying, Manly.
Yeah.
I just every time I go anywhere, like I know the fuckery in the MGTOW space and in the manosphere. I know they want to claim that they're fucking special, but they're not. This shit goes on everywhere that women are allowed.
But what I don't get is we're all normal humans. None of us are special.
Yeah.
We all have flaws. We all have positives. And we should treat each other like that, And the issue is when you start putting people on a hero complex on a higher status, you stop believing their narrative, and then you start creating division because someone else thinks differently than my idol, and it creates all this division. And that's what we got right now. I'm basically speaking an opposite narrative to their heroes.
I don't know. Maybe different language, but pretty much saying the same thing all men are saying.
You mean
mostly?
Well, I don't know. I think I'm quite different to most men in the manosphere.
Yeah.
From personal experience of speaking with them, I do notice that I'm quite different to a lot. Because I'm different to 90% of humanity, so it's not easy to be different to MGTOW. So.
Yeah. No, I notice a lot of the men in our society really say the same thing most of the time. They agree on the same stuff the majority of the time. It's just a small percent of stuff that they strongly disagree with, and then they spend the majority of their time arguing and fighting about that instead of the majority of the time talking about all the things that they agree with.
And you had the Silent Witch trolls in with the Hegelian dialect on top of it, and you have what we got today.
Yeah.
Someone's creating narratives to create divisions, to create enemies, to create the left and right paradigm, so we all attack each other, so we don't see the people behind the veil who are actually puppeting everything.
Yeah, the feminists.
The Masons.
Thank you, Mandy.
That's why I like our Discord chats, because we're like, feminists, not Masons. You're feminists, you're Masons.
Yeah.
That's why I have to play that Mark Pascal clip, because it's not all about that, they're normal humans. It's, that's what I mean. So that's why I had to play that clip, because people are all instantly going to say, it's all about the Masons, she's all about the feminists.
Yeah.
No, but we covered what the Seneca Convention. We covered that.
Those crazy bitches.
So yeah, which you still disagree. They're still feminists, but I agree that I think there was slave freedom fighters. So
No.
She did. Matt helped set up the railroad system, the Underground Railroad. See, this is what a disagreement should look like.
I know.
The most friendliest disagreement ever.
I know. It's okay. I think you're biologically incapable of. You almost have this female predator
Don't go
blindness.
down that route, man. It's okay to disagree, man. Just stop there.
No.
It's okay to disagree, man. We're allowed to disagree. Just stop there.
Okay, we'll stop there. We'll agree to disagree.
Yeah.
Thank you, Manly. I have to really pee this, so I'm going to end this.
Thanks, everyone. Thanks, GM. Thanks, Amanda.
Yep. Thank you.
Catch you all around.
All right. Later.